Call of the Night is the most unique anime airing right now, and I'm going to tell you if this show is worth watching. You'll probably either love it or find it boring, so let me tell you its vibe to see if it's a show for you. The first noticeable thing about this anime is its animation, and specifically its amazing scenery that takes your breath away. It's truly one of the most beautiful shows I've ever seen. This artistry is a huge part of the overall vibe of the anime. It perfectly encapsulates the calm, empty feeling of nighttime. There are very few people on the streets, there's a quiet that's unlike anything you can experience during the day. And as a night owl and having very similar experiences, this reminded me of the feelings and things I love so very much about nighttime. This is one of the few pieces of entertainment where the setting, instead of the characters or plot, is the most prevalent part of the show. If you are looking for compelling mysteries or deep engaging characters, you won't find it here. The characters are interesting and extremely well written. The main character deals with complex emotions and understanding himself. It's not shallow, but it's not necessarily the focus. Although this show doesn't contain the usual storytelling principles I could point out and comment on, it achieves the goal of storytelling and art in general. It elicits emotions, and for that it is truly amazing. However, it's not all good. For one, if you aren't really vibing with the show, you're gonna hate it, because nothing really happens. The main character is a kid who can't sleep, and after getting his blood sucked by a vampire, he wants to become one. I don't want to spoil any more, but that's about it. The other biggest thing I need to bring up is the uncomfortable situation it portrays. Although they aren't technically doing anything, and it makes sense within the world for how vampires work, the act of sucking blood is portrayed as sexual and has a lot of parallels with sex. It does have an interesting exploration of the emotions and how the experience affects the characters. I'm still just talking about him letting a vampire suck his blood. However, it's often really uncomfortable as the main character is a middle schooler at 14 years old. Him being this young is relevant to the story, and it's not trying to be creepy, but the situation is a little and it did hurt my enjoyment of the show. The vampire girl makes a lot of sexual jokes and references, which also has an explanation that's pretty funny, and it's shown in a lot of ways she is just as immature and innocent as he is. Technically, all she is doing is feeding off his blood, but it's still something I had to mention. There's quite a lot of fan service with the vampire, and it seems like there's more as the show goes on. This doesn't really help with the uncomfortable vibe I mentioned earlier. All that said, the writing is good and entertaining. This show is very artsy with its approach, and focuses on understanding emotions and connection and love, and all of this is apparent from the dialogue. As I got deeper into the story, I did find myself less entertained as the initial appreciation of the atmosphere wore off. It was still never boring for me, but it was right on the edge of it at times. Alright, so is Call of the Night worth watching? I have no idea. The show is well made and very enjoyable, with some aspects that can hurt your appreciation of it. This is very much up to personal preference based on the factors I mentioned previously. If you're not sure, watch the opening and see if it piques your interest. Even if this isn't your thing at all, the opening and ending songs are fantastic, so go check those out. It was really hard to review this one, so go check out one of my other reviews on the end screen. Subscribe for more anime content of all variety. I promise I don't only make reviews. And talk to me in the comments. I usually respond. That's all from me. Thank you for watching, and jamyao.